Hopefully you just watched the introduction video. I basically run through this entire section all in one video. That one's teleprompted. It's more scripted. It's very to the point, but it has all this information basically written out quick. It's got B-roll, which is fun. But the production planning and scheduling, like this is all to set yourself up for an amazing shoot. And that doesn't matter what size it is. It's kind of like the client onboarding process. I have given you a huge production planning process, and these are all things that we will do when it comes to bigger shoots, bigger productions. But then you're doing little productions constantly, right? We're doing little tiny Instagram shoots or even just photo shoots, just little product shoots. There are little pieces of this course that you can take and use and make sure you're just hitting all your points as you're shooting, right? So it's not even about using all these things every single time you shoot. It's about going through this as like a checklist when you're about to shoot, just to make sure you hit all the points. And the first thing we're going to talk about is just define production objectives and scope. This is just that first meeting when an idea is happening or a product launch is coming. You want to shoot a podcast. This is that initial like text group or even a phone call, or it's a big meeting that defines the objectives. And that's super important. So we start with clarifying the why. I'm going to zoom in on this for you. So we start with clarifying the why. We're going to ask our client about what's the goal? Why are we doing this? What's the purpose? So some examples are we want to increase sales. Okay, it's an ad. Improve brand awareness. Like I said, this feels very obvious, at least to me, and maybe it is to you. But this is a checklist. Like, let's just run through these things real quick. Let's identify the target audience. That's going to direct everything we do. Who are we speaking to? If we're not speaking to the right audience, what's the point? Define key messages and tone. Do we want to be innovative? Do we want to be affordable? Do we want to be formal, playful, cinematic? Like, talk about that. Get it figured out. Outline the deliverables. This is like what's coming at the end. So I'm shooting a podcast right now, for example, and the deliverables are, we have the main video. I want 3 Instagram teasers. We have a thumbnail we need to create. We have a trailer that needs to come out. We need to upload it to these different places. It's like what deliverables are coming from that shoot. Just outline those. And that's a good place. A good place to put those is basically in your project manager and just start outlining the whole project inside of Asana, for example. Set success criteria. So this is where you're basically going to be agreeing on measurable targets. We want to let's set our goals. Doesn't mean we're always going to hit them, but let's just look at what we think we can get from this production. And then don't just talk about it, think about it. Always take notes. If you're with a client you've already got, this is obvious, and you want to make sure you're writing things down so that nothing gets overlooked and everything is there, because you're going to refer to this initial meeting all the way through the production planning to make sure you're on track and sticking to what you originally discussed. And write it down. And then if it's a new client, that's going to show how professional you are. You're not letting anything fall through the cracks. You're making sure that you're professional, you're thorough, and this production shoot is going to be awesome. So then at the end of each of these videos, I want to talk about why this matters, or at least at the end of each section. And I kind of just talked about it. Clarity and professionalism, right? It's showing how professional you are. Nothing gets overlooked, and it adds extreme value to the long-term relationship. It speaks to, hey, I'm a pro. I want to make sure I do this right. So whether you do all these things for each shoot doesn't matter. It's about having something to look at, using it, and implementing what makes sense for each shoot that you do. I promise you it will make every shoot go amazing. And we're going to go into more of that in the following sections.